That's 7 discourse markers functions. In the passage which follows, certain discourse markers have been printed in italics. Read through the passage and say what you think the function of the discourse markers are using the 10 category classification you have just been given in the previous action. The rise and fall of DDT, at one time hailed as the answer to make diseases. The use of DDT is now banned in many countries. In this passage, Isaac Asimov explains why. From the time of World War II, 1939 to 45, DDT and other organic insecticides were used in large quantities. Tens of thousands of tons were produced every year. The United States alone spent over $1 billion for such insecticides in the single year of 1966. Not only were crops saved, but also the various insects increased. Spread diseases were all but wiped out, since DDT wiped out mosquitoes and flies as well as allies. Malaria became almost unknown in the United States. Fewer than 100 cases a year were reported, and almost all of those were brought in from other countries. Yet all this did not represent a happy ending. The use of organic insecticides brought troubles in its train. Sometimes such insecticides didn't work because they upset the balance of nature. For instance, DDT might be fairly deadly to an insect we wanted to kill, but even more deadly to another insect that lived on the first one. Only a few harmful insects survived, but their insect enemies were now all dead. In a short time, the insects we did not want were more numerous than they were before the use of DDT. Then, too, organic insecticides didn't kill all species of insects. Some insects had a chemical machinery that wasn't affected by these poisons. They were resistant. It might happen that the resistant insect could do damage to crops, but usually didn't because some other insect is more numerous and gets the lion's share of the food. If DDT killed the damaging insect, but left a resistant insect behind, then the resistant insect could multiply enormously and then became a great danger, and DDT couldn't touch it. In fact, even among those species of insects that were killed by DDT, there were always a few individuals that differed chemically from the rest and were resistant. They survived when all other individuals were killed. They multiplied, and then a whole species of resistant insects came into existence. Thus, as the years passed, DDT became less effective on the housefly. For instance, some resistance was reported as early as 1947, and this steadily grew more serious. Eventually, almost every species of insect developed resistance, including the bloody louse that spreads typhus. Finally, even though organic insecticides were not very poisonous to creatures other than insects, they were not entirely harmless either. If too much insecticides was used, some bird could be poisoned. First were particularly easy to kill, and if insecticides were used on water to kill young insects, young fish might also die in great numbers. Using the list given earlier, give the function to the discourse marker shown in italics is used in this contents. The first one has been done for you. The discourse markers function from the time. This is the discourse marker and the function is time. Not only but also since, yet, because, for instance, then to, if, thus, eventually, finally, even though.